Movie review. Movie review with KP3. What's going on, everybody? Thought I'd add another segment here, KP3's movie review, where I go watch a movie and I tell you what I think about it. Let's get right into my movie review. Episode something. The Backrooms. Today we're going to be talking about The Backrooms and what I thought about the movie The Backrooms. The Backrooms has been getting hate online recently, and I'm not quite sure why. I kept seeing a lot of negative feedback. And for me personally, I think it's overhated. Does it have issues? Yes. Every movie does. But that should not stop you from going to the theater and watching it. Let me tell you why. For anybody that doesn't know, the Backrooms was started as some internet phenomenon where it was like similar looking places where you might have been before that feel familiar that aren't familiar at all, right? It was a cultural phenomenon. It was huge on the internet for a long time, turned into a movie by this young, in his 20s director. The young director is credited for creating the Backrooms. I don't think that he actually created it, but he made an online series on YouTube where he definitely blew it up. I mean, he's responsible for the lore and everything that follows that. He definitely was the godfather of that. Now, as far as the idea, I'm not quite sure. The lore is built around the idea of like clipping out of reality into the Backrooms, I guess you could say. This space with yellow walls that feels really eerie, kind of fluorescent lighting, really like an office building, to be honest with you. The movie follows expanding the concept of this idea, right? Expanding on the idea that he has been doing on YouTube. This is like a big performance of that, right? So he's really stretching his own ideas. I'm pretty sure it plays into the lore. So full disclosure, I have not seen his YouTube series. I didn't take part in that part of the internet at that point. I did not take part in that point on the internet, but I know of it, right? Like we all saw it on the internet at one point, or most of us did. And I follow into that category of like knowing what the Backrooms are, but I didn't go that deep in the lore as far as watching his YouTube series. So the director, Kane Parsons, I really want to go into depth here about him because I think his part of this story is as important. What's the most impressive part of this entire thing is that this is his directorial debut. This is the first movie that he's made for theatrical release, and wow, I mean, what a way to come out on top, right? For a directorial debut, this is an incredibly ambitious project, and you got to give him credit for that. I mean, he's taking an idea that, I guess he's familiar with because of his YouTube series, but he's taking an idea that I don't think, like if I were directing it, I personally probably wouldn't have made something out of this, but for what he had, he did an incredible job. I'm pretty sure the movie had like $1 million budget, if that's what I'm reading. Okay, moving into the next part here, I want to talk about the visuals for a second. First things first, the movie is gorgeous. They did a fantastic job shooting this movie. The cinematography, absolutely, in my opinion, is the most successful part of this entire franchise. Or I guess not franchise, movie for now. There were multiple shots in this movie, multiple scenes in this movie where all I could think about is actually how good it looked, to be honest with you, because visually breathtaking. I mean, again, there were parts of the movie where all I could think about is, wow, the execution of the visuals of this part are fantastic. I'm being very vague because I don't want to spoil it. If you haven't seen it, it's still pretty new, but the people that have seen it, they'll understand. The coloring, the set design, the camera work, all of that, in my opinion, absolutely phenomenal. And if I had to choose one part or one thing out of this entire production that I said or that I thought would stand out more than other things, it would be the visuals. The sound design, also another fantastic point of view on this. I mean, the sound design on this project, again, I thought was really good. I loved the sound design. Second to the visuals, the movie did a great job of making the sets and making me feel uncomfortable as the viewer. Visually keeping you involved, but making sure you know that you should be unsettled. And they nailed that. It's also worth stating that the acting was phenomenal. I genuinely enjoyed the performances here, especially by the main character here, as seen on my screen here. I mean, he did a fantastic job. And to be honest, I can't imagine anybody I would have rather had there. And going off of that, since we're kind of going with the pros here, I have to say this movie had moments that felt like cinematic greatness. And I know I keep saying that, but there were individual splits of this movie where you could have taken that out and gone, this is one of the greatest individual pieces in horror, in my opinion. It had moments that showed just how great the movie and the director and the production could have been, right? It had moments that were bigger than the movie itself, in my opinion. Now let's talk about what didn't work. My biggest issue with this movie is the second act, sadly. Personally, I'm not sure if anybody else feels this way, but I felt like during the second act, they were trying to make this universe and this movie feel bigger than it was. And whether that's because they want to build off of this or trying to build a world around it, like this is going to be a franchise, or what, I just felt like they were trying to do too much. In the beginning, they nailed their horror aspect, the direction they were going to head, but then it felt like in the second half, they were really trying to be more than it was. I think it was a solid story all around. The writing, I think it was solid writing, but I think the movie tries to reach in aspects of the writing that weren't quite baked all the way through. I felt like it started reaching for themes and ideas that weren't quite cooked all the way yet, if that makes sense. Which really trying to be more than it was there at the end. Now, do I think that ruins the experience? Not really. I think it was still very enjoyable, but in my opinion, that was the biggest takeaway. Okay, big question. Horror, right? Was it scary? Kind of. There were moments in this movie where genuinely I was blown away. There were moments in this movie where I was genuinely white knuckling on my seat because I was like, man, this is thrilling. What's going to happen? But then there were moments in this movie where I was like, where are we going? You know, I wouldn't call it one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, but it definitely creates tension and action when it needs to most. Next thing, did I enjoy it? As a movie watcher, as a movie buff myself, did I enjoy the movie? Yes. And honestly, I think most people would too. One thing I do recommend is I didn't know any of the lore, but I knew of the Backrooms. If you aren't familiar with what the Backrooms are, I encourage you before you go watch the movie to kind of grasp an understanding of what you're getting yourself into, because I think that will help your movie-going experience. I'm not telling you need to go home and watch this entire YouTube series. That's not at all what I'm asking you to do. But I do know that the movie leans heavily into the appeal and nostalgia to the people that were involved when the Backrooms were big, right? If you walk in completely blind, I believe there will be a good chance that you're going to get lost, or at least not understand what's quite going on, or honestly, why it's that scary. Having an even basic comprehension of what's happening, I think will increase your chances of enjoying the movie by a lot. Why I think this movie matters. The thing that excites me more than anything else about this movie is the fact that we've got young directors taking giant strides here. We're taking original ideas, and we're taking risks, and I think that's important for movies, and that's why people like us, like you and me, should be going to the movies more often. It isn't perfect. The Backrooms by no means is perfect, but it is trying something different. And if we want more movies like this, more movies that make you feel this way, we have to go support. So my final verdict, is the Backrooms overhated? Yes, I think so. It's visually stunning. It has great moments, great sound design, and a very enjoyable story. And for a directorial debut, it's fantastic. In my opinion, it just doesn't stick the landing as much as I think it could have, but I do not think that should be a reason why you shouldn't watch it. So my final verdict, I'm going to do out of 10 rating here, right? My final verdict, 7 out of 10. Just go watch it. Don't expect perfection. And go to enjoy a movie. Don't go with high expectations. Go in enjoying the movie, and you'll have a great experience. Let me know in the comments below, 1, if you enjoy the movie, 2, if you want to see more movie reviews, or 3, what else you want to see me review. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.